let me ask about the economy. Okay, so will the tax cuts be permanent? No tax on tips, no tax on Social Security, no tax on overtime. And explain, when you talk about all of this money under our feet, you know, and the golden era of America, and energy, you know, drill, baby, drill. How do you get these companies to invest billions? And how quickly are they going to extract this energy and maybe supply Western Europe? Because I agree with you. It's money that will save this country.
We have more oil and gas than any other country, and we're going to have more. And with Anwar, you know, which he ended, Anwar is the biggest. Anwar could be, that's in Alaska, could be as big or bigger than Saudi Arabia. We have more than any other country. It's a great thing. It's a great asset because China doesn't have that. I mean, China does not have that. They have to go out the old-fashioned way and buy it. We have more than anybody. We're going to become a wealthy country again, and energy is going to lead the way. But there'll be other things also, tariffs, because tariffs, you know, we were our wealthiest in the 1890s, okay? And by the way, we're going to rename Mount McKinley into Mount McKinley because he was a great president from Ohio, he was a senator from Ohio. He was a very successful businessman who believed strongly in tariffs. He ran for the Senate, he won. He ran for the presidency, he won. He was ultimately assassinated in his second term, but he made the country very rich. And Teddy Roosevelt then came along, and I'm not knocking Teddy Roosevelt, but he spent the money that was made during the McKinley years, and he did, you know, a lot of great things, like building the Panama Canal. The most expensive thing, relatively speaking, the most expensive thing we've ever built is the Panama Canal.
And you're serious
and
about...
And unfortunately, Jimmy Carter gave it away for $1. Oh, no, we're going to have to take it back. China is running the Panama Canal right now. That wasn't the deal.
And
it should have never been given. Well, but the deal was not that China is going to run the Panama Canal.
If we became energy dominant and we provided all of Western Europe with our energy, wouldn't that help bankrupt Putin, number one? He wouldn't be able to fund his wars. And number two, and I think that would make the world a safer place. And the amount of money we're talking about, would America become the single most energy wealthy country in the world? And what would that mean for paying down our debt, saving Social Security?
We could supply the whole world with energy. That's what we have. For hundreds of years, we could supply the whole with, at this moment, the best energy, because natural gas is clean and it's powerful. You need power, and it's consistent. Not like wind. The wind blows and then it doesn't blow, and the things cost a fortune. They're made in China and they kill the birds and they're horrible. We don't want windmills in this country. We're putting an order out. I've already sort of done it. We don't want windmills. If you have a house and you're in vision of a windmill, your house is worth half. It's a disaster. And nobody wants them, and they're the most expensive energy of any kind of energy. You know what else people don't like? Those massive solar fields built over land that cover 10 miles by 10 miles. I mean, they're ridiculous, the whole thing. And by the way, you know where the panels come from? 100% of the panels, they're made in China. They're made in China.
You had a call with President Xi. We have three top geopolitical foes. We have Russia, China, and Iran. I want to ask you about all three. You put out a statement on Putin today. We'll get to that. But let's start. You had a conversation with President Xi. We have problems with them. They have territorial ambitions with Taiwan, intellectual property theft, their unfair trade practices. How'd that conversation go?
It went fine. It was a good, friendly conversation. I had a great relationship with him prior to COVID. I had a very good relationship with him. I thought it was a very good conversation. We've had other communication before that. They are a very ambitious country. He's a very ambitious man. He's a man that was, you know, I don't want to be naive and say my friend, but he was like my friend. We had a very good relationship. I had a very good relationship with Putin also. I would say Iran is a different story. I will be honest with you. Iran is a whole different thing. That's a religious deal that is very dangerous.
That's theocracy.
Very, very dangerous. It's a very dangerous situation. that could be a big problem. You know, with Kim Jong-un of
Do you
North
think you can
Korea.
make a deal with Xi? Do you think that you can prevent Xi from his territorial desire to take Taiwan? Can you make a deal with him on making more fair trade practices? Because I know you. When you say
No, I can do that because we have something that they want. We have with a pot of gold. Don't forget, we paid. You know, what we lost to China last year $1 trillion. $1 trillion because of their stupidity with their trade policies. Now, I put tariffs on China. We took in hundreds of billions of dollars, and Biden was unable to end them because it was so much money you couldn't do it in terms of the budget. He wanted to end them. He did everything he could to end them. He couldn't get it done. But we have one very big power over China, and that's tariffs. And they don't want them, and I'd rather not have to use it. But it's a tremendous power over China. China gets a lot of its money from the United States. They use that money to build a military. Isn't it crazy?
how come they have hypersonics and Russia has hypersonics? We don't. Are you ready?
Because during Obama's administration, they stole the design for Russia stole the design. They got it from
Us.
Some bad person gave them design. It was our job. Now, I authorized the building of hypersonic, and we're doing super hypersonic, actually, which is even a step better. But and we'll have them starting fairly shortly. But Russia got them, and they built them, whereas they stole them during the Obama administration. Obama, not Biden, not anyone else. They probably stole plenty from Biden. We'll hear about that, too. But they stole the hypersonic stuff, and they made hypersonic missiles.
Will we have the resources for the next generation of warfare? I don't believe we're going to fight future wars on battlefields. They're going to be fought in air-conditioned offices.
Much different. Well, I don't know. I heard you say that last night. They're going to be fought. They're going to be fought in a lot of different ways, including offices. But
you don't quite
very
agree
big
with me.
things are becoming drones now. Drones are becoming more important than jets.
You push a button.
I said the other day to somebody with great knowledge who actually were bringing into the administration, I was saying a certain type of fighter jet that I really like. He said, well, it's good if you don't like the pilot that flies it because the chances of him coming back are very small.
All right, let's go. You sent out.
In other words, technology is changing.
And we have to be in the front of it.
We have to be.
And you said that about AI, which I believe is brilliant. You put out a truth on Vladimir Putin today.
Yeah.
You seem to have had a relationship with him that, and you've talked about ending this war in Europe. And you want to end it quickly. How quickly can it end?
Should end immediately. Should have never started. That would never have started if I were. I used to talk to Putin about it. Ukraine was the apple of his eye, but there was no chance that he would ever do it. And he didn't do it. For 4 years, he didn't do it.
Have you spoken to him?
I don't want to say, but I will tell you, it's got to end. And if you look at I'm just talking from a human life. I don't care, Russia, Ukraine, US. These are human beings that are just being slaughtered on this battlefield by the millions. They've already died in cities. The cities are like demolition sites. Many people died. One thing with the Ukraine war, you're going to find many more people died than think. This is a war that should have never started. Biden did a horrible, horrible job in allowing that war to start. It should have never started. It would have never started. It wasn't even tough from that standpoint. One thing, so he allowed energy to go up, way up. If he brought it down, the war wouldn't have started because Putin wouldn't have had the money. Putin makes all his money on energy. And Biden let it go to a record, and Putin had so much money, he was able to do it. So, but that's only one thing. That wasn't even the biggest reason. What was said at the time was so bad. I said, he's going to drive that guy into doing this.
A minor incursion? When he said
he used the word minor incursion. That was
don't.
bad. But he said things worse than that. And Putin shouldn't have done it, too. I mean, I'm not blaming only one. Putin shouldn't have done it. He shouldn't have done it, and it has to stop. Do you know they've lost about 850,000 Russian soldiers and 700,000 Ukrainian soldiers? right now.
And the Ukraine has been devastated.
Devastated.
Will it be a negotiated settlement, and will you lead the negotiation?
Well, I hope so. And I put out a truth today that's really strong, and I mean it. And if they don't do that, I'm going to put massive
Explain. If
tariffs.
they don't do what?
If they don't settle this war soon, like almost immediately, I'm going to put massive tariffs on Russia and massive taxes and also big sanctions. And I don't want to do that. You know, I love the Russian people. They're great people. I don't want to do that, but we got to get this war ended. And if they don't make a settlement like fast, and Zelensky, I will say this, he wants to settle now. He's had enough. He shouldn't have allowed this to happen either.
No.
You know, if he's no angel,
Right.
he shouldn't have allowed this war to happen. First of all, he's fighting a much bigger entity, okay? Much bigger. When he was, you know, talking so brave and so. Now, two things happened. They were brave, but we gave them billions of dollars. The United States spent $200 billion more than Europe. Why did we spend more? You know why? Because Biden never asked Europe to spend more. They spent 200.
It became a U.S.-Russia proxy war because of Joe.
Zelensky was fighting a much bigger entity, much bigger, much more powerful. He shouldn't have done that because we could have made a deal, and it would have been a deal that would have been, it would have been a nothing deal. I could have made that deal so easily. And Zelensky decided that I want to fight, you know, they have 30,000 army tanks. Russia has 30,000 army tanks. Zelensky had none, practically. You don't fight those. Now, then we started pouring equipment, pouring. And they had the bravery to use the equipment. But in the end, that's a war has to be settled. So the field is interesting because it's very flat. It's great farmland, okay? It's very flat. There's no protection. The only thing that's stopping a bullet that gets shot, they can go for miles, is a human body. And they're being hit left and right. And they're losing millions of people. Young, beautiful people are dying on the battlefield. And it's got to stop.
Zelensky did say for the first time that he would be open to a negotiated settlement.
He says that. He should have said that a long time ago.
You put Iran in a different category. I keep reading and I talk to my sources.
Well, they're religious zealots. It's different.
Okay.
I'll give you an example. Kim Jong-un.
Yeah.
When I came in, I met with Obama. Right there, we sat. And we talked. I said, what's the biggest threat? North Korea.
You guys were yucking it up in the church service.
Yeah, we were. Someday I'll tell you what we said.
Someday you'll tell me.
No, we had a nice time. But he said North Korea is the biggest thing. And I solved that problem. And I got along with him. He's not a religious zealot.
Will you reach
he
out to
happens
him?
to be a smart guy. Kim Jong-un is a smart guy.
You'll reach out to him again.
I will. Yeah.
All right, my
he
last
liked
question.
me, and I got along with him.
Your staff is going to kill me, and I don't want to
My
get. I have
staff
friends
is just
here.
fine. I'm not Obama.
You're not Joe either.
I'm not Joe. No, they had very strong rules. Obama's staff, too.
All right,
They
last
stopped
question.
him from speaking. And Joe, they usually didn't let him start. No, they're fair.
That's the best part of the interview right there.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.